Hey, it's Amy King again. We are going to finish up our blog series this month on speech sound acquisition. The last couple of months, the last couple of blogs, we started with the early developing speech sounds. The last blog we did the middle developing speech sounds, and this month we are going to wrap up this series with the later developing speech sounds. So the sounds that we are going to talk about today, we're going to do L as in ladder, TH as in thank you or this, CH as in chicken, SH as in shampoo, and R as in rabbit. Make sure you check out the link at the bottom of the video. We have attached a link there to a speech sound acquisition chart, and you can go on there and look at all of the speech sounds and see what ages those sounds are typically acquired. So let's get started. We are going to start with L today. L is a tongue lifter sound. These are pictures, I brought some out on the last blog. These are pictures from the Linda Mood Bell phoneme sequencing program, and I like them just because they're a good way for kids to see a visual representation of the mouth and see how the sounds are made. It probably looks a little dark from home. So we'll start with L. L is a tongue lifter. Just like the T, the D, and the N that we talked about in the last blog, you're going to take your tongue tip and you're going to lift it up to that ridge or that bump behind your two top front teeth. You're going to lift that up, you're going to hold it. Oh. I like to, with my kids, add a vowel on the end of that L because they're able then to really see the tongue roll. So I like to have them put the tongue up and then add an A to it. La. And that way they can kind of see that the tongue tip goes up and it rolls off. With all of the sounds we've already talked about and the ones we're going to talk about today, I always have a mirror. A lot of kids can look at you and they can watch you say it and hear you say it, but they're just not able to do it themselves. So you really want to have a mirror available so that they can get in. They can look inside their mouth. You want to show them what it is you're wanting them to do, what you're wanting to go where. So have a mirror. If they're unable to use the mirror, as we talked about before, you may have to get in their mouth. So wash those hands or get a glove on. You're going to need to show them where the tip of their tongue is. Touch it so they can feel it. Go up and rub that bump behind their top front teeth. Touch it so they can feel it. And these are some things I brought back. But peanut butter, pudding, yogurt, you can go in and dab, edible things in the mouth so that they can kind of get a sense for where it is that you're wanting them to go or to feel. So that's the L. The next sound two sounds that we'll talk about are SH and CH, and here's the visual representation for those. These are sister sounds because they're produced pretty much the same way, very close. These sounds, when I'm teaching kids, I call them the kissing sounds or the fish sounds because your lips, as you can see, kind of look like you're about to give a big old kiss, or fish lips. So kids will have a lot of fun with that. So let's start with SH and CH. The first two steps for these sounds are pretty identical. When I'm teaching SH and CH, the first thing I say is teeth together. So we want the top teeth and the bottom teeth to come together at midline. Some kids, especially if your child is a thumb sucker, a passy sucker, a lot of kids, if they do a lot of thumb sucking or passy sucking, may not be able to bring those teeth to midline, and that is just sometimes the dentition that happens because of that. So we always, as speech therapists, encourage minimal passy sucking and thumb sucking, but we say bring teeth together. And then the second step for SH and CH is going to be making those fish lips or those kissing lips. So teeth together, fish lips. And then step 3 for SH, what you're going to instruct your child to do is then you're going to instruct them to just push out a strong, steady flow of air. And lots of times I'll take the child's hand and put it in front of my mouth so that they can feel that air and feel that strong, steady flow. So teeth together, fish lips, blow. Shh. And that strong, steady flow will produce the SH. CH is close, but the third step is a little bit different. For CH, you are going to, after you put your teeth together and you make your kissing lips or your fish lips, you're going to lift that tongue tip up to that bump again, that same place where you make the T, the D, the N, or the L. You're going to lift that tongue tip up, and then it's a quick release of air. So teeth together, kiss lips. By lifting that tongue tip up is what allows that quick pop of air. So that's for SH and CH. For those two sounds. And with all of these sounds that we've talked about, you're always going to start with an isolated sound. We talked about this in the last vlog. You're going to start with an isolated sound. Once they can make the sound, you're going to add vowels to it. So if we're doing SH, you're going to start with sh, then you're going to go to sha, show, she, shay, shy. Once they can do the sound plus the vowel, you're going to move into words, and then simple phrases and sentences. So that's kind of always the hierarchy that we follow. So that's SH and CH. All right, moving along, we have a couple more sounds. We are going to talk about TH next, and TH as in thank you or this. When I am teaching this sound with my kiddos, I joke around and I say, this is the only time you can ever stick your tongue out at me, and they kind of have fun with that. So you're going to instruct them first to stick their tongue out. We don't need the tongue out to here, slightly sticking out between the teeth. And so we stick our tongue out and then we gently bite down close to the tip of the tongue. So tongue out and bite down close to the tip. And then I just instruct them, we're going to push that air out the front of our mouth, and it's almost like you want them to cool the tip of their tongue. So if this is our tongue and you're biting down, you want them to direct that airflow and try to cool the end of the tongue with that air. A lot of kids will try to pocket the air in their cheeks when they do this, and then it just kind of becomes this, and the air's coming out. So you really want to tell them that after they stick their tongue out and bite it, you're really wanting them to direct that air, trying to cool the tip of their tongue, and it'll make a good and you can see, but if you can see the visual representation, you can see she's biting close to the tip of her tongue, and then these lines represent the air really being pushed off the tip of her tongue there. So that is TH. And the last sound that we're going to talk about today, the hardest sound to make and the hardest sound for speech therapists to correct, in my opinion, is the R. Okay, so I'm going to give you some strategies for R. R is a difficult sound. It is one of the last developing sounds, and if I didn't mention before, and you can see on the chart linked below, but most of these later developing sounds emerge between 4.5 to 8 years of age. So some kids may not master that R, that SH, or that CH till 8, although it's commonly acquired, 5, 6. So the R, 3 things really have to happen with your tongue for the R. And this is why it makes it hard. Your tongue really has to be tense, kind of pulled tight from side to side. It has to be pulled back in the mouth. And most people lift their tongue up. Today I'm going to teach you to make the R with the tongue tip up. There are a couple of different ways to produce the R, but I have found that most people produce the R with the tongue tip up, and I have found best success in correcting R's with the tongue tip up. So the first thing I do with an R is I always start with a long, hard E sound. So I have the child just hold a long, hard E. And the reason that I do that is when you make the E sound, and you can do this in your bathroom with the privacy of your own mouth, hold that E. And when you say E, you're going to feel the sides of your tongue really tensing, and you're going to feel it literally like pushing the inside of your teeth, almost like you can feel them coming out your cheek. So the E sound lets the child feel the tension of the tongue. The next sound that we add to that is the K sound, which we talked about earlier in the middle developing sounds. If you remember what we talked about last month, K pulls the tongue back, okay? Which the tongue has to go back for R. So we start with the E, we start with the K then and transition into the E. So you're kind of going into the word key. So now we have two processes for the R. We have tongue retraction backwards, and we have the tongue tension. So the last piece that we're missing that makes the R is for the tongue tip to go up and back. And it really has to go back far. If you ever get in a mirror, wash your hands so you don't get sick, take your finger, go up in the high peak of the roof of your mouth. You're going to feel that it's very hard there. It's called your hard palate. Slowly move backwards in your mouth. And I say slowly because you don't want to choke yourself or cough. But if you transition back in your mouth, you're going to start to feel it get soft. That's the soft palate, okay? And what we're aiming for with the tongue tip is we really need the tongue tip to go up and back to that soft palate. But your tongue still has to be back and tense with that E. So what I do is, with my kiddos, is we start with a K, we transition to the E for the tension, and then we lift that tongue tip. And if you listen to what I'm about to do, you'll hear it ultimately transition into an sound. So we go here. Okay, so you could hear that it ends in the R. It is a difficult sound. With any of these sounds that we've gone over, if you have tried some of these practice techniques at home and you're not seeing any progression and you're getting frustrated and your child's getting frustrated, please give us a call. We have an excellent team of therapists with so much experience. We are available to evaluate and to treat your child in the clinic here, in your home or the school. And don't forget to look below at the link to see those speech sounds and when they're typically acquired. And thank you so much for joining us for this series, and we will see you next month with a hot new topic.